done this film to help you understand what Scientology is and assist you to get around to avail yourself of it and answer your questions. This is Flag in Florida, home of the highest level Scientology services. This is the Advanced Organization in Clearwater. This is St. Hill Manor, headquarters in the United Kingdom, and once Ron's home. This is the Founding Church in Washington, D.C. This is the International Ecclesiastic Management Center. This is the upper level and combined organizations in Los Angeles. This is Celebrity Center International in Hollywood. This is the Scientology College in England. And this is the FreeWind, Scientology's advanced religious retreat. In fact, there are thousands of Dianetics and Scientology organizations, missions, and groups spanning the globe on every continent in over 100 countries of Earth. And millions of Scientologists to be your friends and help you help yourself and others. Scientology was designed for you and all that you hold dear. Religion is as old as man. Man has believed far longer that he was a spirit than a piece of mud. In this age of materialism, he is being put into total effect. But in his common sense book, The Way to Happiness, L. Ron Hubbard pointed out that materialism is not necessarily true, and that evolution could be just a way that other factors built a species of body. Materialistic science has not disproven God or the spirit. They just say there isn't one. The lives and works of materialists certainly prove that they are not godly men. Most religions have meant peace for man, and there have been a very great many religions in man's history. Basically, in all religions, man has sought spiritual release. That is what we deal with in Scientology. Since Scientology is relatively new, you may hear the question asked, is Scientology a bona fide religion? Let me assure you, it is, according to more than 65 court decisions around the world.
The conclusion that it, the Church of Scientology, is a religious institution entitled to tax exemption is irresistible.
This court finds that the Church of Scientology is a religion within the meaning of the First Amendment. The beliefs and ideas of Scientology address ultimate concerns, the nature of the person and the individual's relationship to the universe.
The Church of Scientology's purpose in this world is considered to help men in his striving for spiritual freedom.
It is established in this case that the mission is a religious organization and that Scientology is a religion.
Scientology has the target to achieve an inner and outer freedom, one that transcends the human, one that belongs to the field of spiritual things.
The Church of Scientology is a religious community.
The Church of Scientology is a religious organization.
The Church of Scientology must be treated the same as any established religion or denominational sect within the United States, Catholic, Protestant, or other.
That Scientology is a bona fide religion is indisputable, as determined repeatedly by courts the world over, including the United States Supreme Court. There is much more data about this in the valuable book, What is Scientology? It contains a wealth of information and will answer many of your questions. It also contains copies of paintings which sketch the life of L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Dianetics and Scientology. Like Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, L. Ron Hubbard has always stated that he is just a man. But he has influenced millions of lives for the better.
Well, you're speaking of him, of course, as the founder of Scientology. But people have been fond of Ron for many other reasons.
We're here in the L. Ron Hubbard Life Exhibition in Hollywood, California. And with me is Mr. Norman Starkey, the trustee of Ron's estate. Mr. Starkey, just looking around, it's obvious that Ron was a man of many accomplishments.
As a matter of fact, he was fully professional in 29 different fields.
Such as?
Aviation, ethnology, filmmaking, photography, music, and engineering. He was also a master mariner, licensed to captain any ship on any ocean, and a world-class explorer. But first and foremost, of course, he was a writer.
These magazines, I take it, contain some of his early stories?
All of those that you see here, all through the 30s and 40s, these were the form of entertainment. And with several million readers monthly, L. Ron Hubbard was virtually a household name.
I see that he wrote in many different genres.
Adventure, mystery, western, detective, spy, science fiction, fantasy, and even romance. Incidentally, Ron also wrote under more than 20 pen names, so any single issue could carry 3 or 4 of his stories.
He also wrote for Hollywood, didn't he?
Oh, yes. Here's an example. Back in 1938, he wrote this 15-part series for Columbia Pictures. It was actually their most successful at the time.
I presume his success as a writer brought him great personal wealth.
Indeed. There are more than 100 million copies of his books in circulation today. That's how he funded his research into the mind and life.
And where does the money go now?
He donated his entire estate to the religion of Scientology, so it would always be here for the benefit of all mankind. That's how much he cared.
Then, if I may ask, what accounted for the controversy?
It all started when word of Dianetics began to circulate, even prior to the release of the first book. The government knew that it worked, and they wanted it for themselves to monopolize the field of the mind. They even tried to force Ron into service. He refused and instead gave his discoveries to the public with Dianetics, the modern science of mental health.
Why should the government be concerned about that?
The government had been spending millions of dollars experimenting with mind control, all in a grand scheme to make men more suggestible. But Dianetics could undo their efforts to bend men's minds and brainwash them. They were very frightened of him because with Dianetics, he could nullify their tactics.
So what did Ron do?
He exposed the government plan in his next book, Science of Survival. And incidentally, he was the very first to publicly disclose what has since become known as the infamous mind control program, inspiring hundreds of exposés and congressional hearings.
A very bold move.
And the government never forgave him. They spent decades and millions to hound and harass him and prevent his work from spreading. Anyone else would have gone under from such a vicious, interminable campaign. But he just kept on going.